Came in about your focus, your mood, and your anxiety. So why is your darn psychiatrist so obsessed with your sleep? Well, it turns out sleep loss doesn't always look like sleepiness. And sometimes it looks a lot like the problem you came in with. So today I'll tell you what sleep can imitate. And yes, your phone is probably about to catch a stray. So who am I? I'm Dr. Nguyen. I'm a board certified psychiatrist, and this is NguyenInDoubt. So I absolutely adore sleep. I love doing it, and apparently I love talking about it as well. This isn't a bedtime lecture, though there is no greater compliment to me than you falling asleep on me right now. We picture sleep deprivation as nodding off at your desk or needing that aggressive early afternoon nap, though that might just be a big meal. Sometimes it is, but when sleep is short, so is attention, so is memory, and believe it or not, your emotions actually also take a hit. When you are tired, when you are sleep deprived, you may feel foggy. So your brain just doesn't feel as if it's finished loading. It just has that. You can also feel more irritable as well. And irritability sometimes comes when you are coming home and you see that those dishes in the sink just jolt you just a little bit more than they usually do. Your brain might also feel a little bit more scattered if you don't have enough sleep. So someone is talking to you, but you're generally trying to listen, but somehow every sentence just bounces off. Or you feel emotionally flat, or you are weirdly wired. And maybe it's all of the above, which would truly be a very rude combination. Now, look at that list again. Notice anything? Those symptoms overlap with what we would see in inattention, in anxiety, in depression. You can have a baseline anxiety. You can have a baseline depression. Though just know that if you are feeling sleepless and sleeplessness is part of the picture, then it will be very, very hard to tease out. It really does, sleeplessness or lack of sleep really does add a lot of noise to the symptoms we're trying to figure out. But Dr. Nguyen, I'm so used to 4 hours of sleep now. Yeah, that doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies when you say that. Here is the part that people miss. You can get used to the feeling of short sleep while your attention keeps getting worse anyways. But Dr. Nguyen, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's a very bold strategy. We just need to clear enough noise to figure out what the signal is, the thing that we can actually tackle. Nobody with anxiety climbs into bed thinking, man, life is peachy keen right now. I have absolutely nothing from 2009 to review right now. Anxiety keeps the mind running on a treadmill. Depression can shift sleep earlier, later, longer, lighter. Focus problems can make going to bed feel like a suggestion your brain has politely declined. So sleep and mental health feed each other in both directions. Treating only the daytime half, and we may be treating only the half of the loop. So, some quick numbers so that this isn't just vibes, but at least it's, evidence-based vibes. Most adults need at least 7 hours a night. That is not a magic number for everybody, but it is a useful floor, right? About 3 in 10 US adults don't reach this. So if you're chronically under 7 hours, no, you're not broken, and you are definitely not alone. But the sleep deficit still belongs in the assessment. One more thing, because people beat themselves up about this, your body clock is very real. Some of us genuinely are wired to run a little bit later, and our clocks take their biggest cues from, guess what? That giant thing in the sky called the sun. Don't stare at it directly, of course. Evening light can push that clock later still. That is biology, not a character flaw. But biology is not the same as helplessness. We can steer ourselves towards that sweet nectar of more sleep. So, what can actually change tonight? Here is the part people get backwards. I usually don't start with bedtime, right? I usually talk about the wake time, when people get up. 3 moves in this order. 1, you want to anchor your wake time. Same wake up, 7 days a week, give or take about an hour. Here's the annoying part. You cannot force your brain to fall asleep, which is why I don't start with wake time. For some people, bedtime is a losing fight, but wake time you control. And the rest of the clock will follow it. So, number 2, make the last hour boring. Dim, calm, screens free. Phones charging across the room, not on the pillow. I have never seen anyone jump for joy when I ask them to put their phone away before bed. It is like I asked them to live without an organ for an hour. But putting the phone away is a skill. The more repetitions you get, the less impossible it feels the next night. The question I get every single week is, what about melatonin? Does it work? Short answer, sure, for some people. Melatonin is one of the signals involved in sleep timing, but timing matters more than most people realize. In the United States, melatonin is sold as a dietary supplement. It is regulated less strictly than prescription or over-the-counter drugs, and what's on the label does not always match what's in the bottle. For chronic insomnia, the evidence is also weaker than the supplement aisle would have you believe. So, if you're thinking, fine, I'll take melatonin and I will skip the first 2 things that you told me, Dr. Nguyen. No. Not so fast. Treat it like a medicine first and foremost. So this is not medical advice. So ask your doc about whether the dose, the timing, the interaction, and the actual sleep problem makes sense for you. And the fact that you can buy it off a shelf does not automatically make it the right tool for you either. I think the wake anchor and the boring hour still comes first. Melatonin is not the whole plan. It is just a sliver of the plan. If you're snoring or gasping for air, falling asleep without meaning to, or getting drowsy behind the wheel, do not wait on a bedtime experiment. Go see your doc sooner than later. And do not drive drowsy. If you want to follow up, tell me which ones in the comments. The racing mind, the 3 a.m. wake up, or the honest answer on melatonin. Your questions become my episodes. And if you want more of my talking head, well, subscribe. Sleep may not be the whole answer, but until we clear that noise, we can't trust the signal. Remember, when in doubt, ask.